Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the LOCUS Golden Hour podcast. My name is Kristina.
And I'm Lina.
So, this podcast is about sharing stories, advice, tips, and all things surrounding university and student life. And today we'll be chatting about adulting. Very daunting subject. So, I guess we could get into a little icebreaker since we're talking about adulting. How old are we? Lina, how old are you?
I am the ripe age of 20. 20. Wow.
Wow.
What about you, Kristina?
I am also 20 as well. And now that it's 2022 when we're recording this, we're both turning 21, which feels a little crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
bet we'll listen to this later and be like, wow, we were such babies.
I remember as a kid, like thinking of like a 20-year-old. I thought they were so old. I was like, oh my gosh, 20 years old, the 20 like 20s to 30s, I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? But now you're here, you're like I still feel so young and I have no idea what I'm doing. So
It's okay, everyone figures it out at the same time, right?
they really
We're all
do.
lost.
We're all lost souls. I feel like fake it till you make it. I didn't understand that until you kind of get there and you're like, oh, so everyone doesn't know what they're doing. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, kind of comforting.
It is. Oh no, it's very, very comforting knowing that everyone doesn't know what they're doing.
We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old were you when you moved out, Kristina?
I was freshly 18. So, my birthday's in August, like at the very end of August. So I turned 18 and then I moved on to residence for school. So
Wow.
it's a little baby to me.
I
What about
feel
you?
Yeah, I mean, I also moved out when I was 18. I lived in an apartment off campus, but I feel like most students usually move out when they enter university. Some may stay at home, and that's totally cool too. But yeah, I also chose to move out when I was 18.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
yeah, today, as we mentioned, we're talking about adulting and essentially what it means to be a young adult at the age of, 18 to whatever, 23, 24, like basically your university years. So we're going to talk about, what what was the, I guess, moment we felt like we're adulting, some I guess advice that we have since it's been a few years. But let's first start off with some stories. When was that moment you would say, Christine, when you're like, oh, I guess I'm a young adult, or like I'm in control of, I guess, my life.
Oof. Um, if I had to pick like a defining moment, I'd say when I signed the lease for the student house I'm living in now, because I lived in residence in first year, but it was like December of first year when I signed a lease to live with my friends the next year. I was like, whoa, this is a legal document, you know? Um, and then I guess signing that lease, sending emails to the landlord, like that felt like very adulty stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and then even just moving in when I had to get furniture, and then like I don't know, I had to keep talking to my landlord. I had to start like, budgeting and stuff like that. I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrifying, but it's also fun because I got to have a little bit of freedom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely relate with that. And kind of along those lines, for me, it was like getting a credit card for the first time.
Ooh.
Because, like, in Ontario, you need to be 18 to get a credit card. So I remember I was waiting. I was like, I want a credit card because, like, online, like, I had a debit card, like, I had a youth account or whatever you got that your parents let you open it or whatever. But,
Mhm.
um, like some sites they're like you only can pay with credit cards, so then you have to ask your parents, or like I'd ask my brother or something. And so, like, I mean, now that I got credit cards, like I can go online shopping, and obviously to an extent I didn't go crazy with my credit card, but yeah, paying bills as well, I'd say like that was I was like, how do I pay bills? But it's actually super easy, like it's not
Mhm.
that hard.
Yeah. Like especially I guess we have like apps,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes it really easy for us.
Yeah, I mean, as like Gen Z and like millennials, like everyone uses an app. Like you probably don't even go
Mhm.
into the bank anymore unless you really need to, but it's like
Yeah.
super easy. Just click a button or like auto pay. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Auto pay is so good. Like it's actually, it's like you just do it and you forget about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That isn't that lovely?
Yeah. That actually makes me think of like, I don't think this was when I like this would be a pivotal moment of my like adulting life, but it's what made me really feel like I was starting to grow up, even though I was in high school. Like, when you get your first job and you start paying
Oh,
for things by yourself, like
yeah.
there comes like a moment where you don't know where the change happens, but your parents stop buying you toothpaste or your parents stop
Yeah.
buying you shampoo, right? Like the stuff that they would always provide you because now you have like your own money. And I remember like usually sometimes I would like ask my mom, like, can I just like grab this tube of toothpaste and bring it back with me to school? But I'm like, I'll just buy my own toothpaste. Like those little moments.
Oh,
Also,
I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead, Christina.
no, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess another life hack. I mean, a part of adulting is going home and then raiding your parents' like supplies and bringing it back. Because you said like, yeah, usually go home and just grab some, but like you could buy it, but you could also save money by stealing some toilet paper at home.
My mom always sends me home with so many groceries, like meals that she like has cooked and then freezes,
Yes.
like lasagna, meatballs, like I don't know what else, but yeah, I love that. Anything else that like feels like an adulting story at a pivotal moment in you growing up?
This isn't a pivotal moment, but I feel like it's kind of funny and like I keep seeing the memes on TikTok. It's like when you call to make an appointment and like you know how like your mom would always call, like you'd be like, "Oh, I need to go to the doctor's, mom. Can you like call to make an appointment for me?" Like now you can call and like make your own appointments and stuff. And like personally, I hate like calling random people on the phone. Like making it okay, obviously like I can make an appointment on my own. It's just like I don't really like calling strangers. So I'm like, when I'm waiting, I'm like, oh my gosh, are they gonna pick up? Like, am I gonna have to leave a voicemail? Oh, I rehearse. I'm a rehearser. I don't know if
Me
anyone else
too.
rehearses, but I'm like, what am I gonna say? What do I need to know? And then yeah, so like I feel like that's like a little thing that's like you now have to make your own appointments and like you now have to like I don't know, you're just in charge of a lot of your own things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, I'm also a rehearser. But at this point in life, I'm thankful, like since we're students, I'm coming under my mom's insurance, right? So that at least I don't have to worry about for a couple more years. But another thing for me with appointments is making the appointment and then driving myself to the appointment. I don't have my
Oh.
own car, like I use my parents' car when I'm home. But that one was a big one. Sometimes my dad is still like, "Are you sure you're gonna drive? Do you want me to take you?" I'm like, "I got it, Dad. I'm an adult." So that's another one. I got my license like summer of 2020. So, and then when I'm at school, I don't drive too much, but that feels like an adulting moment. I can
Mhm.
get myself places.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I don't drive, so I can't relate to that part yet. But I think like just being in a car for me, like when I turned 16, I was like, oh, I can drive now. I was like, this is kind of cool. So
I could
yeah.
if I wanted to, kind of thing.
Yeah. So Christina, now that we're basically adults, let's talk about like doing things on your own. So like for example, grocery shopping,
Mm.
budgeting, buying your own food. Let's talk about that for a little bit. What do you think?
I think part of adulting, I guess, if you didn't grow up cooking at least, is when you move out and you learn how to cook. So budgeting groceries or knowing what to buy can be difficult sometimes, especially if your parents have been the ones always buying the groceries. So I've started budgeting with like a spreadsheet. I don't really know much about like the whole like how to properly put together a spreadsheet, but I do it in like my own sort of way that works for me. But eventually you realize the things you like to buy, and then you have staple things, and then you have staple meals, and then you kind of know how much you want to spend
Mhm.
for like every week of groceries. Apparently the average Canadian should spend $50 a week on
Mhm.
groceries. Sounds kind of reasonable to me. Still try to go below, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think like you kind of learn like what to do. I guess a tip I would say is like try to think of meals that you would make it with because like sometimes I guess like when I was starting out, I would just like buy like random things like I don't know if it's on sale or like if I wanted it, but then I was like, what can I make with this? Like I
Mhm.
literally was like I brought it back and then it'd be sitting there because I just didn't like make it into anything or I didn't have an idea of what to do with it. So I would say like try to think of things to make in meals because like I feel like I would used to buy like individual things and then I
Mhm.
got back and I was like, what am I gonna eat for lunch? And then there's nothing coherent if that makes sense. Like nothing
Yeah.
comes together. Um, but yeah, also like I don't know about you, Christina, but I'm like always tempted by things. Like, when you're shopping down the aisle and there's like the cookies and you're like, I can buy that because I have my own money, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, resist the temptation. But then like you're like, but like maybe I should treat myself. I would say like I usually get like one or two things. Like I'll be honest, sometimes I buy myself candy for a little treat. Keep it in a little jar. Yes.
I have M&Ms on my desk right now.
Literally, I bought Sour Patch Kids and some chips because you
Nice.
gotta have your snacks. But like um, I'm definitely someone who enjoys grocery shopping, and I like it honestly like is like a stress-free like wind down time for me. I like walking in every aisle and
Oh
like
my goodness, you're
looking.
an adult. You're an adult.
That's what I realized when I enjoy grocery shopping on my own. I'm an adult. I'm an adult. That's crazy.
When laundry day becomes fun, when you like start buying furniture, or when you start really thinking about decorating, like
Yes.
interior decorating, you're like, this like cast iron pan, oh my goodness, my favorite thing. Adult moment.
Literally, like I used to just send my friend like those like videos of like how to decorate like a kitchen. Like I'd always like almost like, oh my gosh, I like this kitchen or like this bathroom design is really cute. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And you know what? Another thing, I think this is very pivotal.
Mhm.
Vacuums.
Oh.
Being interested in vacuums is
Mhm.
like that like literally changed my life. I was like, am I old now? Why am I getting excited about this Dyson vacuum that I cannot
Oh.
afford? Like,
Watching reviews on YouTube.
literally, I'm like, I would like to own my own vacuum one day.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Vacuums are expensive. So if
They
you own your own
are,
vacuum, it's accomplishment.
they
Yeah.
really are. And I don't know, they're really cool ones out there, but they're very expensive. So
Roombas, like those kind of vacuums that just go and do their own thing.
I saw that when my one of my brother's friends got one for like this Christmas and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how does it feel to live my dream?"
Oh, it's like that TikTok stuff.
Literally, I
Oh
was
my god.
like, "Oh my goodness." And like cuz those ones are expensive. They do their
Mhm.
own work. You don't even have to move.
You click a button or you like time it with an app. Wow,
Whoa,
technology. That's kind of
technology.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I just came back to Waterloo and like I just had to clean the whole like apartment because I haven't been here in a while. And like I was like breaking my back. Like my back hurt. I just remember like cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the toilet. Like I was like, is this what it is to like, I don't know, be an adult and have to like do your own things, right?
Chores, responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be crazy listening back to this episode when we're older, or even people who are older than us, who are older than 20, or if they're 20 at a different point of life. Listening to this, it's going to feel a little weird. And if you feel like maybe you're 20 and you're not there yet, like maybe you feel like you're behind in adulting just because you haven't moved out, not true either. Like you experience adulting in different ways, and we may look back and see ourselves now as just little babies who didn't know anything, but this is what we know at the time. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think what's really cool, I guess, about university, like I feel like age is very interesting because it doesn't really play a lot. Like you kind of meet a bunch of different people at like different stages of life. They could be a lot older than you and they're just going to school, or maybe they're a bit younger, but you're taking the same class, right? And it doesn't really seem to make it like any difference. Like you kind of just get to know someone and you're like, oh, you're married.
Oh, that's yeah.
And it doesn't make a difference, right? Because I feel like you meet a lot of different people, and they can be at whatever stage,
Mhm.
and they're just there for school. And I think that's really beautiful too, right? Because like I guess when you graduate, right, like you're gonna be meeting people of all different ages at your workplace or just in general. And
Mhm.
like that's kind of I just think that's really interesting because like I don't know, when you're younger, it's like the eighth graders and the
Yeah.
fifth graders. Like you're like, oh my gosh, you're so young. But then when you're older, it's like, well, everyone's just existing. I don't know.
Mhm. I think it's important not to compare like your life to others for whatever point you are in life. And
Mhm.
I think that's like the best way to come to peace with what's happening around you or what's happening to you, like in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of what we've learned, do you have any life hacks, any tips? I think we just shared some wide. I think we just laid down some wisdom right
Yeah.
there.
On to life hacks. I know you have one with the paper towel and the Tupperware. Would you like to share that one?
Oh, like putting the oh, like the cleaning thing?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, which one are you talking about? Yeah, I guess my life hack, like if you have like spaghetti or something like oily that you had in like a Tupperware, and I saw something, I literally learned so much from TikTok. Thanks, TikTok.
Mhm.
But you just like put dish soap and then you like put water in it so it gets like bubbly, and then you put a paper towel into the Tupperware, and then you close it, and then you shake, 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 and then like obviously like wash it again with like a sponge and stuff. But like it will do wonders. Like it will get rid of the pasta sauce, like stain. You got to do it early though, because you can't let it soak in.
I
But that is a good life hack that works. I can guarantee it.
want to know what the science behind that is.
I have no idea. I can't tell you.
Where's the science students at? Leave us a comment on our podcast or our Instagram of why
Please tell
that
us
works.
how it works.
When we were thinking about this episode, I was trying to think of life hacks I know as well. I know we mentioned it in another episode, but I can't remember what I said. Um, a big one I use that I've taught some people is when you have leftover rice and you're microwaving it, so you don't want it to be if you don't want it to be hard, you wet a piece of paper towel, like a dip piece of paper towel, put it on top of the rice and microwave it like that. That might be common sense to some, but that's a good way to make sure your rice is good when you warm it up.
So what you're saying, Christina, is that paper towel is the answer to everything.
Yes. If you have one takeaway for this podcast episode, paper towel is the answer for everything. Do you have
Yeah,
any
but
other life hacks?
honestly, I would just say try to clean as you go. Like don't let it
Mhm.
pile up. That's not only a life hack, but it's like try to do that so it's like easier.
Mhm.
Sometimes I multitask, like when it's like cooking and I like wash some things. Um, but that's really it. I feel like I've had a lot of routines built into like I guess the way I do things, but when you think about it, it's like, what do I actually do? And you can't think of anything, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna have to sit on that one for a little
Okay.
bit.
They just end up coming natural to you and it's just part of like a daily habit, right?
Yeah.
A life hack I have is that dryer sheets are great air fresheners. Put them in your
Yeah.
shoes. Like, I heard that when you travel, put dryer sheets in your luggage and it makes your clothes smell nicer, like fresh laundry.
I
Yeah.
actually I have another well, this isn't really a life hack, but I saw this on TikTok. I don't know if this works though. But if you like put a dry sheet, if you have frizzy hair
Oh,
and you like brush your hair, it will smell nice first of all, and then it will like not your hair won't be frizzy anymore
I've
if you
heard of
brush your
that
hair.
too.
So
I've seen
there you
people
go.
put it like over the bristles of their hairbrush. They brush their hair. They run
Yes.
the dryer sheet through too.
I don't know if it works, but just I guess I just thought of it because of the
Something to
dryer sheet.
try.
Yeah.
Like, what could go wrong? It's just a dryer
Nothing.
sheet on your hair.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, this isn't really a life hack, but it was something I was thinking with how I moved out and just buying your own things. Buy a Brita. I love like
Woo.
Britas. I don't know. I just don't really like tap water too much. Also, when you have a Brita, it's like cold fridge water. You know what I mean? So buying a Brita,
I agree. I
an
feel like that's a
adulting move.
really, oh, so good.
Oh, I just said it's an adulting move.
I think it's a good investment, and especially, I'm just gonna say something out here. Waterly water tastes weird. It's very weird. I hate it. You can, that is why I invested in a Brita. It tastes sweet, but like metallic. There's some minerals in there that like are
Hmm.
not good. It's just not good. So that's just my opinion. But
I don't like tap water either. So
yeah. I guess, are there any things that you bought that you could say like, oh, this was a good investment? So like your Brita, you're like, I moved out, like this is something that like I use all the time and like I would recommend this to someone to buy.
hmm. I don't know if there's anything that comes to mind that I like bought, but there's something that my mom gave me, which is a Swiffer.
Ooh, yes,
Like, you
yes,
know,
yes.
if you want to do a quick little clean, or maybe after you vacuum and you want to just go over again, Swiffers are great. I would recommend a Swiffer.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I guess that's my answer. I can't think of anything like a big investment that I made personally. Just like little things that I didn't realize I had to buy, like keep buying toilet paper or paper towel. Like that's something that I didn't think about because it was just always a supply in my house growing up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with the little things. I think like for me, a good lamp, like having good lighting
Mm.
in the room, they don't have to be expensive. Like I don't think they're that expensive, but like having good lighting and then gloves. Like I remember my grandma would always wash the dishes with gloves and I'd be like, whatever, like I don't need gloves. But then I just realized how like how nice gloves are, like just to like protect your hands, protect your nails, your 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 skin doesn't have to get like all nasty. I don't know. And then I'm fearless, in terms of cleaning with my gloves on. So
Love
I
that.
I would say invest in gloves. They're not that expensive.
That's a good one actually. I had gloves that I used to wash dishes, and they're like there's a cool texture on the inside too. Like it was nice and soft. It was like pretty good pair of gloves. And then it got wet in the inside, and then it just never stopped smelling. So I had to get rid of them. But I should
No,
get some gloves again.
those are the worst. Maybe get the ones with the insides that are like rubbery.
Yeah, I feel like that would be better.
Yeah. I have a pair for dishwashing and then I have a pair for cleaning, like the
Mhm.
bathroom. And
Yeah,
I have an extra pair. Yeah.
I love that.
Um, finally, I know we touched on this a little bit, but let's talk about banking or like money management. How do you do that?
Like I mentioned before, like I have a personal budgeting spreadsheet and I put groceries, and then also for me at this point of life, eating out because I do that way too much. um, it's hard. It's a lot of just like discipline. Like I'm thankful that I'm able to go and eat out and I have those funds, but it's also a lot of discipline to not spend too much on eating out or other things like that. Um, I use the TD app because that's the bank that I'm with. And there's this thing called like TD My Spend that like
Yes.
shows you like you've been spending more than normal, or like you're spending a normal amount, keep it up, or you've spent less this month. So I like when I see that one.
Yeah.
But it just like keeps you in check, I guess.
Yeah. I have the exact same thing actually. The app, so like every time I make a purchase, it like notifies me. And sometimes I feel guilty, but then it's like I don't know. I usually just have like a budget in mind. I don't have anything specific like you, Chris, but I just have a budget when I go like to the grocery store or like putting aside some money for like I guess to have fun or go out. So yeah, but either way, I guess I pay my bills with the app and that's just a lot easier. And there's a lot of things that I have on auto pay and stuff. So
Hmm.
honestly, I think it's like kind of easier. Paying rent also is just
Hmm.
like auto auto pay. So it's actually not that bad.
And I remember when I first got my credit card, I was like, why is the statement like starting on the 8th of the month? That's so confusing.
Yeah.
And like I had to figure it out. So if you do have questions about how credit cards work, how all that banking stuff works, literally you can call and ask them. Or you
Yeah.
can like ask someone who you think knows, because it's honestly better to ask someone than to like make a mistake.
No, they're
And
so
yeah,
nice. They're
yeah.
literally so nice. I literally would call them and then I'll ask them like literally questions I think are stupid, but like, they'll still answer
Mhm.
them and it doesn't matter. So, um, yeah. What about taxes?
Oh, like filing like your T4 or stuff like that. I don't know too much about taxes though. That's like all I know.
I do them online and it's like the do it yourself. I don't know. There's this not app, but like this website I do it on that helps me like file them. But I'll be honest, I don't know too much, but just if you search up like tax filer thingy, I don't know. I could even like I don't even remember the website, but it's not that hard to do. So make sure you do your taxes every year.
I'm not at that point yet. My mother still does that for me.
Your mother. That's
Yeah,
when I
actually.
realized I was an adult. I was like doing my own taxes and I was
Uh,
like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but it worked
I
out.
hope you're doing it right.
I am doing it right because
Cool.
I have to pay the government money.
Hmm.
That's how it works. Or I
Yeah.
get money back, but usually it's me paying them money because
I like
that's
when I
how it
get money back.
works.
That's my favorite
Me
part.
too. Me too. Okay, well, pretty sure that wraps up everything, Christina. Do you have any last minute words, last minute takeaways, as usual?
I think with the whole that little like moment we spent on the whole wisdom thing, I just want to like reiterate that if you feel like you're in a different point of life and adulting than someone else, don't compare yourself. Everyone's at different points of life, and like adulting happens to people in different ways. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And if I guess our stories and our moments of adulting don't resonate with you, well, it can happen at any time and it's probably different for everyone. So you might not be able to relate, but that's okay. And everyone's just trying to figure it out. So if you feel lost, that is okay. Other people are probably feeling lost as well. So that is all. And with that said, make sure you follow our podcast, subscribe, and leave us a review. You can also follow us on our Instagram at Locus Laurier to stay up to date with any events or any podcast episodes. And we'll see you next time. And until then, stay golden. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.